Nisha stood by the kitchen window, her delicate fingers tracing the raindrops that ran down the glass. The sound of the monsoon was familiar, evoking memories of laughter and the childhood games she'd played in the village. Married into Rajeev's family for 5 years, she had grown accustomed to the rhythm of household life, the early mornings filled with temple bells, the warmth of her mother-in-law's stories, and the evening silence that wrapped around their small house. Arun, Rajeev's younger brother, arrived quietly that afternoon. He was home from university, to spend a few weeks before setting off for his new job in the city. Arun had always been different, thoughtful, quiet, and a little shy. He carried a sketchbook wherever he went, capturing scenes of village life. Rajeev, busy with his shop, left most afternoons. Nisha found herself with Arun more often now, sharing tea and conversations in the shade of the old mango tree. It started simply enough. Arun asked about her embroidery designs, and she showed him flowers stitched across marigold fabric. Soon, the hours slipped by unnoticed. Monsoon evenings brought candlelit dinners in the veranda. Heat lingered in the air, mingling with the scent of jasmine. Nisha and Arun discussed art, poems, and the world beyond their village. Her laughter was free around him, as if time paused and she rediscovered forgotten joys. Arun often watched her, noticing kindness in the way she spoke to everyone, and the quiet courage with which she managed the house. Sometimes, his gaze lingered longer than necessary. Nisha, blushing, would turn away, pretending to focus on her chores, her heart stirred by an emotion she couldn't name. One evening, Rajeev returned early, his footsteps heavy. He paused at the door, seeing his wife and brother talking quietly. Arun's voice was gentle, his admiration obvious. Rajeev's smile faded, replaced with uncertainty. The air grew tense, and Nisha sensed the shift, a ripple in the family's calm. The next day, the sun broke through the rain clouds. Nisha's routine resumed, but something lingered in the air, a kind of silence that tugged at her thoughts. Rajeev spent more time watching her as she moved about the house, his smiles a little forced. Arun, too, noticed the change and grew quieter when Rajeev was present, their conversations less animated. That afternoon, Rajeev called Nisha aside. "You seem happier these days," he began, his eyes searching hers for answers. Nisha hesitated, forcing a gentle smile. "It's just the monsoon. Everything feels different when it rains," she replied. Rajeev nodded, but doubt flickered in his gaze. Meanwhile, Arun retreated to his room, immersing himself in sketching. His pencil captured a scene of a woman beneath a tree, her face illuminated by inner light. The picture remained unfinished, the lines softened as if by uncertainty. Arun wondered whether he should confess his feelings or let them fade, fearing the consequences for both Nisha and Rajeev. Days passed, and with them, a growing sense of tension. On a quiet evening, Arun found Nisha alone outside, her hands busy with embroidery. The urge to speak overcame his usual restraint. "I've never met anyone as kind and inspiring as you," he confessed, voice trembling. Nisha's heart quickened. Confusion, fear, and longing mingled in her chest. For a moment, words deserted her. Then, softly, she replied, "Arun, we cannot change what is expected of us. But you've given me friendship when I needed it most." In that instant, Rajeev, hidden behind the door, overheard the exchange. His world tilted, pain and anger flashed in his eyes, but he forced himself to stay silent, unsure of what he should do next. The rain resumed outside, echoing the storm inside his heart. Unable to sleep, Rajeev finally decided he could not ignore what he heard. The next morning, he faced Nisha in the kitchen. "Are you hiding something from me?" he asked, voice low. Nisha looked at him, her eyes wide with emotion. Arun, sensing the tension, entered the room and stood beside her. Rajeev's words came tumbling out, accusations mixed with misery. Nisha defended herself, explaining their bond was born of respect and empathy, not betrayal. "You are my husband," she said, her voice quivering, "but you've been distant, and I was lonely." For a long moment, none spoke. Tension gripped the room, threatening to break the fragile fabric of their family. The weather reflected their hearts, unsettled, brooding, never certain when the storm would pass. Rajeev took long walks alone, wrestling with memories and trust. Nisha, feeling his pain but resolute, continued her daily tasks, pausing often to gaze out at the gathering clouds. Arun stayed mostly in his room, fearing what he had set in motion. Days stretched into weeks. The family's silence grew thick. Even the mother-in-law, who usually brought laughter, noticed the hush. One night, Rajeev sat with Nisha after dinner. "Was I wrong to trust so much? Have I failed you?" he asked. Nisha reached for his hand. "The truth is more complicated than you think. Love isn't always a choice, but kindness is." Arun overheard their conversation, tears in his eyes. He decided he would leave for the city earlier than planned, hoping distance would heal what words could not. On the day of departure, rain came in torrents. Arun packed, his sketchbook heavy with memories. Nisha wished him well, her voice steady yet aching. Rajeev managed a polite farewell, but his eyes reflected wounds that might never fully heal. With Arun gone, the house grew quieter, but slowly, Rajeev and Nisha found new routines. Sometimes wounds brought wisdom, sometimes forgiveness took a lifetime. Nisha never forgot Arun's gentle support, but chose loyalty and healing for her marriage. Outside the window, the monsoon faded. Life continued, fragile, imperfect, but still moving forward. Rajeev and Nisha learned to speak more kindly, to listen better, and to respect what was broken, mending it where possible. With Arun's departure, the household found a new rhythm. Rajeev tried to focus on his work, yet memories haunted him, small moments with Nisha, scenes of laughter now tinged with doubt. Sometimes, he watched her move through the house and wondered if trust could truly be rebuilt. Nisha, meanwhile, became more introspective. She spent hours in the garden, tending to jasmine plants, remembering the candid conversations she once had with Arun. She resolved to make amends, repairing her relationship with Rajeev bit by bit. She started joining him in managing the shop, learning the business details she'd ignored for years. Over time, Rajeev noticed these gentle efforts. His resentment softened, replaced by a hope that things might become normal again. One night, as they sat together after closing the shop, he said quietly, "I want us to start over, Nisha. Not as strangers, but as partners." Nisha met his gaze and nodded, her heart relieved by the chance to heal. Months passed before Arun wrote his first letter from the city. He described his new job, the crowds, and the art exhibitions he visited every weekend. He never mentioned Nisha directly, but closed every letter with wishes for family peace and happiness. Nisha found comfort in these messages, sharing them with Rajeev at dinner. Slowly, the couple began to talk about forgiveness, loyalty, and how easily misunderstandings grow in silence. Rajeev admitted his failings, how he'd withdrawn emotionally, creating space Nisha never wanted. Together, they planned a visit to Arun next season, hoping time and distance would mend what was once broken. By the next monsoon, the house thrummed with new energy. Nisha and Rajeev worked side by side, building trust. Their mother-in-law, always keen to observe, remarked on the positive changes, how laughter had begun to return and old wounds faded. Arun wrote once more, inviting them to see his first solo art show. When Rajeev and Nisha arrived in the city, there were nerves and hesitation, but also warmth. Old tensions lingered, yet honesty and acceptance filled the spaces between them. At the exhibition, Nisha found a painting, of a woman beneath a tree, her face illuminated by gentle light. Arun stood beside her and said, "Some bonds never vanish, they simply change form." Rajeev placed a hand on Nisha's shoulder. "Let's remember what matters," he said. And together, the three began a new chapter, one marked not by secrecy, but by understanding, forgiveness, and love. Back in the village, life appeared to settle into a fragile calm. Yet beneath the surface, Nisha and Rajeev navigated a delicate balance between past wounds and hopeful futures. Their conversations grew deeper, exploring feelings left unspoken for years. Rajeev admitted that pride had blinded him, and Nisha confessed her loneliness. Evenings were spent sharing stories, rekindling the friendship that had once been their foundation. The shop prospered, drawing more customers, and the household echoed with laughter once more, though tempered by the wisdom of experience. Arun's visits became more frequent, each trip a reminder that he was no longer just the shy younger brother but a man finding his place in the world. His relationship with Rajeev transformed, shifting from rivalry to mutual respect. The three of them often shared long talks, sometimes about family, sometimes about dreams. Nisha and Arun's bond remained one of respect and affection, free from the secrecy that once shadowed their connection. They found healing in honesty, understanding that love takes many forms, some unspoken, some declared. Rajeev, too, embraced this new dynamic. He acknowledged that true family means acceptance, forgiveness, and growth beyond mistakes. The village festival arrived, a time for celebration and renewal. Nisha wore a bright sari, colors that mirrored the fireworks lighting the night sky. Rajeev stood proudly beside her, their smiles genuine and warm. Arun brought gifts and laughter, sharing stories from the city. They all joined in the dance, surrounded by family and friends. The past, though remembered, no longer held them captive. As the lanterns floated upward, carrying wishes and hopes, Nisha whispered, "We have found peace in the storm." Rajeev nodded. "And strength in each other." Arun smiled softly, knowing that some bonds, however tested, endure, transforming into something deeper, something unbreakable. The days following the festival were filled with a gentle peace. Nisha often found herself sitting quietly by the window, watching the world awaken with morning light. Her thoughts wandered to how much had changed in such a short time, how pain had given way to understanding, how hearts could heal when given patience and care. Rajeev joined her one morning, bringing 2 cups of tea. They sipped slowly, sharing dreams for the future. "We've been through much," he said softly, "but I believe this is just the beginning, for us, for our family." Nisha smiled, feeling hope bloom anew. "Together, we can face anything." Arun's art flourished in the city, each painting a testament to his journey, from confusion to clarity, from longing to acceptance. Yet, no matter where his path took him, the village and his family remained his anchor. He also began to teach local children to paint, hoping to inspire others as he had been inspired. Letters from Rajeev and Nisha told stories of the shop's success and the little joys of daily life. In time, Arun returned for longer stays, integrating his city experiences with the village's quiet beauty. The trio's bond continued to deepen, not without challenges, but with mutual respect and love guiding their way. Healing is rarely a straight path. Rajeev and Nisha learned this every day, their bond tempered by honesty, forgiveness, and sometimes the weight of unspoken sorrow. Some days, doubts resurfaced like lingering shadows, but they faced them together. They understood that the scars left by pain wouldn't vanish overnight. Instead, they became reminders of how strong their love had to be to endure. Nisha often reflected on her own mistakes and the fragility of trust, while Rajeev worked hard to let go of pride and open his heart fully. Arun, too, faced his own journey of growth. Far from home, he embraced responsibility, understanding how his choices affected not just himself but the family he cherished. His letters and visits became bridges of reconciliation rather than reminders of the past. Though moments of awkwardness remained, time and openness softened old grievances. The family began to celebrate small victories, a shared meal without tension, laughter echoing in familiar rooms, and quiet evenings where love spoke louder than words. In a world governed by social expectations and cultural norms, they discovered that family means more than roles or appearances. It means compassion, understanding, and embracing imperfections. Arun's art showed this transformation, each canvas a metaphor for renewal and hope. Nisha's hands, which once trembled with uncertainty, now created embroidery imbued with confidence and grace. Rajeev stood beside them both, renewed in his commitment. Months turned into a year, and with time came a new understanding among the family. Rajeev had come to see Arun not as a rival but as a vital piece of the family puzzle. They shared moments of brotherhood, discussing plans for the future, laughing over childhood memories, and supporting each other's dreams. Nisha felt a quiet fulfillment as she watched their bond strengthen. The love she shared with Rajeev had grown richer, shaped by pain and perseverance. She no longer carried secrets or doubts. Instead, she walked with a heart full of hope and acceptance. Yet life, with all its unpredictability, brought a new challenge. A misunderstanding during a festival caused old insecurities to stir once more. Rumors whispered through the village, testing the family's resilience. Rajeev confronted the rumors quietly but firmly, reminding everyone that their bond had been forged through trials. Nisha stood by his side, her confidence unwavering. Arun too faced the village scrutiny with calm and dignity, proving that truth and integrity could weather any storm. The family emerged stronger, united not only by blood but also by choice. They organized a celebration to reinforce bonds, with neighbors, friends, and relatives coming together in joy and solidarity. Under twinkling lanterns, laughter and music filled the air. Rajeev raised a toast to family, flawed, but forever united. Nisha smiled, her eyes shining. To love in all its forms. Arun nodded, and to the courage to start anew. As the night deepened, the village understood that some stories are not just about betrayal or heartbreak, but about forgiveness, growth, and the beauty of human connection. The family's renewed bond inspired them to dream beyond the village's borders. Arun proposed opening a small gallery in the city to showcase his artwork alongside crafts from their village artisans. Rajeev enthusiastically agreed, seeing it as a chance to expand their horizons and honor their roots. Nisha planned to manage the gallery's events and promote cultural exchanges between the city and village. As preparations began, the trio found a renewed sense of purpose, working side by side as partners with shared goals. During the gallery's opening, old friends and neighbors gathered, curious and hopeful. Stories of past hardships surfaced, but so did tales of forgiveness and resilience. Nisha shared how they had chosen healing over bitterness, inspiring others to reconsider their own relationships. Rajeev spoke humbly of trust reclaimed and the strength found in vulnerability. Arun's art captured not just colors but emotions, pain, joy, and transformation, leaving visitors moved by the story behind the canvas. As seasons passed, the family grew closer, their love maturing like fine embroidery, intricate, resilient, and beautiful. They faced future challenges with openness, knowing that life's uncertainties are best met together. Nisha, Rajeev, and Arun understood that true family is not without flaws, but with commitment, compassion, and the courage to forgive. Any wound can heal. The gallery became more than a place for art, it symbolized their journey, from brokenness to wholeness, from shadows to light. Inspired by their renewed relationship, the family began to think beyond the boundaries of the village. Arun proposed opening a small gallery in the city where he could showcase his art as well as handicrafts made by the village artisans. Rajeev enthusiastically supported the idea, seeing it as an opportunity to honor their roots. Nisha planned to manage the gallery's events and promote cultural exchanges between the city and the village. As they prepared for this new journey, the three of them found new energy and a shared purpose, working together as partners. At the gallery's opening ceremony, old friends and neighbors gathered, moved by their story. Tales of past hardships surfaced, but so did stories of forgiveness and strength. Nisha spoke about how they chose healing over bitterness, inspiring others to rethink their own relationships. Rajeev humbly spoke of regaining trust and finding strength in vulnerability. Arun's art captured not just colors but emotions, pain, joy, and transformation, moving the visitors deeply. As time passed, the family grew closer. Their love matured like fine embroidery, intricate, strong, and beautiful. They faced future challenges with open hearts, knowing that life's uncertainties are best met together. Nisha, Rajeev, and Arun realized that a true family is not perfect but defined by commitment, compassion, and the courage to forgive. The gallery became more than a place of art, it symbolized their journey, from brokenness to wholeness, from darkness to light. Just as the family began to settle into their renewed harmony, new challenges arose. The city's fast pace was overwhelming for Arun, who missed the quiet simplicity of the village. Meanwhile, Nisha found balancing the gallery's demands and family responsibilities taxing. Rajeev sensed their struggles and organized a family meeting. They agreed to support each other more consciously, dividing tasks and ensuring time for rest and reflection. This open communication strengthened their bond further. Arun started sharing his feelings more openly, admitting his loneliness in the city. Nisha confided her worries about managing expectations. Rajeev expressed his fears of failing them despite trying his best. Through these vulnerable conversations, they discovered that acknowledging fears and weaknesses brought them closer. They made a pact to be honest, to listen without judgment, and to find strength together. With renewed commitment, they faced the future united. The gallery thrived, celebrating the art and culture of their roots. Their family story became one of resilience, forgiveness, and growth. Every challenge was met with empathy, every success shared with joy. The trio knew that while their journey wasn't perfect, the love and understanding they nurtured was their greatest masterpiece. In the end, Nisha, Rajeev, and Arun realized that the true meaning of family is not perfection, but standing together. The relationships that were once broken were mended with forgiveness and understanding. Overcoming difficulties and misunderstandings, they proved that love and trust can overcome any obstacle. Their gallery became a beloved place in both the village and the city, where art and culture connected hearts. They shared their experiences and inspired others with their family story of hope and smiles. Their story teaches us that no matter how many challenges life brings, family and true relationships are the strongest support. The journey closes with the three standing strong, loving, and wise, building their world by embracing each other's imperfections and growing together.